I'm your host Adam Gaston. This is CUTV with Cardiff Uni Ladies rugby team.
So I think just before we came to uni, they just got promoted into WBSR, and like they'd worked so hard, you know, to get promoted into this league. Some of them are professional, some of them we played against, you know, are in the World Cup, that kind of level. So it is hard, and I think we are still, you know, progressing as a team, and we are still getting that. And as time progresses, like we'll hopefully have more players coming in who are coming to uni for the rugby.
It's been the hot topic of discussion. Women's Rugby World Cup record-breaking attendances.
We both went to the final at Twickenham, and it was just insane. Like goosebumps. Like it was just crazy to see it like so full and full of like dads with their like sons as well. You know, like encourage them to watch the sport. That, you know, it's just as good as, you know, men playing the sport. Like it's a different game, like, and like it should be celebrated for that.
Welcome back to Sports Spotlight. I'm your host Adam Gaston. This is CUTV with Cardiff Uni Ladies rugby team players Gabriela, Della, Savina and Tyrrell. So during this interview we're going to be chatting about all things Cardiff Uni Ladies rugby team, women's rugby and these two as players. So we'll get into it and start off with your own journeys in the game of rugby that we all love, or certainly us three love anyway. So Gabriela, do you want to start us off and tell us a little bit about your journey in rugby?
Yeah, I
Moved from 10 in the centres into 8. That actually reminds me. I remember seeing a couple of clips of you at the sevens, and that all makes sense now. With some of the offloads you were given, sort of netball passes, I think it was.
The week we against Edinburgh, actually got put into 13 for a bit because we were running low. So pretty.
It's probably a nice change of pace. You don't have to get sort of I guess tackles as much, and you can sort of focus on the wide channels and work on there, stepping a bit. Bobby, do you want to tell us a wee bit about your rugby journey?
So I actually started playing when I was 4 with my older brother. I grew up in Hong Kong, and rugby's like a really big sport out there. I played basically just with boys until I was around 10. And then went into a women's team. I then played under 14s, under 16s, and under 18s Hong Kong national team. When I moved to England, I played county here whilst I was at school. And then, joined Cardiff and been going ever since. So it was really fun.
Yeah, it's a
in Hong Kong, playing rugby is like, it's like the it sport. So like if you play rugby, you're quite cool. Where here, I feel like it's kind of different. It's not like we don't do it in schools and stuff here. We're back, especially for girls. Where back home, we'd play it like in PE lessons and stuff like that. And it was really, like for sevens was so cool. We always, for minis rugby, would play like in the Hong Kong sevens just before the main teams would go out, and it's such a fun experience.
Yeah, that's a great story. I'm sure it helps you work on your sort of offloading game, because I know you guys like to keep the ball alive in your game plan. Well, that's great. Just a couple of different things that I'd love to go in to. So you have a bit of a pre-match ritual, I hear, bagels. So you want to tell us a wee bit about that?
Yes, especially in first year, I was in Tallygate and Gabby was in Tally South, and we just meet up for breakfast and have bagels every morning.
Any particular favourite bagel topping?
See, at the minute, I'd probably say like beans.
Beans? Does that not make it too soggy?
No, but like we love beans in our household at the minute. Kind of our hyperfixation. But back then, love like avocado, maybe. I'm vegan, so I don't eat meat or anything, but Gabby loves eggs.
I do like scrambled eggs, bacon, that kind of thing on a bagel.
Yeah. So basically just the opposite
Yeah,
of Poppy
the
then.
opposite of Poppy, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, Poppy, you got to get your protein in somehow, so I think beans is a pretty good way to go there. That's great. So yeah, speaking about your different experiences, another thing I noticed from you guys was your different roots. Obviously, your Italian heritage. Do you want to tell us a wee bit about that? Della, Savina, obviously.
It's mostly just my name, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like, I don't actually qualify to play for Italy, which is a shame. But I'm actually more Irish. Yeah, so I qualify for England and Ireland for rugby. But you're international.
Oh, yeah. I got loads of countries. My dad's half American, so I qualify for America, England, Wales, Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Wow, there we go. Yeah, all over the place there. Yeah, there we go. You can play sevens, you can play rugby union, wherever you like. Another thing I'd love to go into is women's rugby this year. Obviously, has been the hot topic of discussion. Women's Rugby World Cup record-breaking attendances. I mean, I think it was maybe nearly tripled in terms of the amount of crowds that were in compared from New Zealand 3 years ago to England this time around. Obviously the Red Roses getting it done in Twickenham in front of that record crowd. I guess my question is, how does this success of women's rugby, particularly in this country, but also all around the world, sort of make you feel, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, we both went to the final at Twickenham, and it was just insane. Like goosebumps. Like, it was just crazy to see it like so full and full of like dads with their like sons as well, you know, like encourage them to watch the sport. That, you know, it's just as good as, you know, men playing the sport. Like, it's a different game, like, and like it should be celebrated for that. And I think, you know, to have it in England this year and to win, it's so inspirational for so many girls. And I think, like, you know, even inspiring people at school to start playing rugby more, like start, you know, putting that into PE, start doing that kind of thing. It's just going to be really, really beneficial for the sport and, you know, getting more girls to play at, you know, these higher levels.
Even at uni, like, we were working the Freshers' Fair, and we had loads of girls come up to us and go, oh, I've been watching the Rugby World Cup, like, I'd love to have a go. And stuff like that. I think it's just growing the sport. It's so small in the UK, and I think now, like, having grassroots rugby and kind of improving all of that will really grow it, and it's lovely to see that has been this year.
You know, it's an absolutely fantastic like community.
Yeah.
I mean, you sort of see with the crowds at those games, you know, supporting both teams. I think it was, I think Brazil, maybe they scored 3 points against a team. I can't quite remember which team, but just the crowd roar that goes up, because that's like because obviously, you know, there's certain teams that enter the competition, you know, who have no professional players, and then just to see how the crowd reacts to when they have successes, I think it's such a great atmosphere. I think also it's a great advert for the game of rugby. Not sure what you think, but in terms of the way the game is played, it's very free flowing. It's very let's have a go. Is that sort of something that you sort of maybe, I guess, try and incorporate into your game?
Yes, I do. I think, especially compared to other teams that we play against, we kind of have to play a lot more heads-up rugby, because they're professionals, a lot of the girls we play against, and we kind of need to adapt to all of that.
Yeah, I think at Cardiff especially, we're maybe a bit of a smaller pack compared to some of the girls, because a lot of girls, you know, in our team, some of them have only picked up a ball coming to rugby, or, you know, a year before coming to uni, like compared to, say, when playing against like Hartbury, where they've all been in the college programme, like, you know, going to the gym, going to S&C for years before, and they're already like quite a glued team. So when we, you know, go out against teams like that, we need to like use our agility, say, like against them, and like, yeah, really use our skills in that sense.
It's definitely something that really comes through in your play. I mean, it's just intensity. It's just like how quick can we play it at this team and try and get it wide and get it through the hands. And I think it's always been something like offloading as well. It's certainly something I've noticed in your games.
Compared to the other teams, like our forward pack, I'd love to see the pack weight difference. It must be mental.
Yeah.
So we really have to kind of think about that and play, like, use that to our advantage.
And moving it back to Women's Rugby World Cup, or women's rugby in general, who's your favourite players in the game at the minute?
I loved watching Georgia Miller for New Zealand. I think the way she played, obviously from sevens, and she was playing back row, like watching her, like in my position. Like, it was just really cool to see like how agile she could be, like as a forward though. So it was almost like having another back on the team, and I thought the way she played was really like inspirational, really, really cool.
So many. I love Alona Mar. Like, I know she's a classic, but she is so good, and like what she's done for women's rugby is like crazy. Also the 4 for America.
Sophie
I can't
DeGoody.
remember her name.
So yeah, I think Sophie DeGoody.
No, that's Canada. She's really good.
Oh,
at
sorry,
it.
no,
Erica
get my.
She plays for Sharks.
North American teams mixed
Yeah,
up.
no, don't worry. And she was so good. Like, she scored like a hat trick as a second row as well. Like, literally, she plays like a back as well. She's so rapid and quite small, and I just think she was incredible.
Sophie DeGoody though, she was amazing to
Yeah.
watch. Obviously, she won. Was it Play of the Tournament?
Play of the tournament. Yeah.
She was just insane. Like an absolute hybrid athlete. Like crazy to watch.
I think everybody thought England were going to win it.
Yeah.
I think they were the best team, but I think Canada. I'd say for the neutral, they were. I mean, some of the rugby they were playing,
Oh,
it was
insane,
absolutely
insane.
unbelievable,
And like,
wasn't
they've
it?
got so many sevens players in there as well, so they just play such into like a quick game. I think their ruck speed on average was like 1 and a bit second, like, which is insane, like crazy speed, and like they are all so fit, like the whole forward back squad. You don't know who's like forward, who's a back. Like, they're so agile, so quick, and like, yeah, really, really cool to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, any predictions, I suppose, for the PWR this season? Who do you think will win that?
I don't know.
That's the Premiership women's rugby, by the way. For
We've been watching a few
viewers.
games, but I feel like it's always hard to tell.
It's so hard to tell. I think it changes every week. But it's cool to see girls like we play against on a Wednesday, then playing like PWR on Saturday.
Yeah, some of the girls who even like we've played with here, playing in the PWR, which is like amazing to see like them progress like that.
Yeah. We'll look forward to seeing what comes out of that, and the Women's Six Nations as well, which will be not too far away, I suppose. But we'll move it into Cardiff Uni Ladies Rugby, which is where we're all here, for talking about the club, a bit about the last couple of years. You've had back-to-back varsity wins. This was in your tenure. The 2025 Killen 10s Hong Kong champions as well in your home country. And just a really, it seems like you've had like a really great couple of years since you've entered the WBSR. I guess the question is, for me, is it comes across that as a very tight-knit group. What would you say is your favourite aspect about Cardiff?
I think for me, it's the fact that like we all play for each other. Like, we're very, like, we do everything together. Like, we're all like really good friends. I've met all my best friends at uni through like the girls at rugby. But you know, we get up and we train early together in the mornings, and then we see each other in the evenings as well. Like, we spend a lot of time together. So I think it's just like we all want each other to do so well in every aspect. And yeah, I think we work really well together as a team because of that.
No, I actually agree. That's my favourite, is our team, definitely. Like, this is our 3rd year now, and every year we've had such a close-knit group of girls. We do everything together. Like, it's such a pleasure going to training. That's like my favourite part of the day, going to see all my friends. I live in our house now, we have 6 rugby girls. It's been passed down through generations. It's 4th year. I don't know, I think compared to the other teams we play against, it's a lot more competitive in their teams, and they might not like each other as much as we do, but we really want everyone to succeed, and I don't know. Yeah.
That was great. And 6 of you live in the one house. Are you doing like wraparounds in the kitchen with the bananas?
It does get a bit hectic.
Does it? Yeah.
After training on like a Monday night, we're all starving, and we have 4 hobs, and it's like who can get there quickest.
Yeah. A mountain of carbohydrates, I'm sure, being consumed after that session. Well, it's interesting to see the depth of experiences that you've had in the past couple of years. I mean, we speak about the Hong Kong Sevens, and that's something in itself. How was that experience, first of all, and how did that sort of develop you as a group and playing a different game with the 10s?
Yeah, so we went last year. Our captain, Claudia Harrison, was from Hong Kong. So am I. So we decided we'd take the team out. We had a fabulous time. I think playing 10s, it's really a game that we kind of like dominating a bit, because in 15s, like I said, our pack's very small, but we do like to move it quick, and in 10s that is something you can do. We just went out there, we had like a couple of training sessions, but nothing like, just like after our normal sessions, because we were in varsity training camp, we do like 30 minutes at the end of some 10s training, and I just think it really fit like all of our skill really well. And again, we're a really close-knit group of girls, so going on tour and stuff like that was just amazing. And just, we had so much fun. Like, we played some really class rugby, and it was just so fun. And we kind of let go a bit and did like some great lines and everything, so it was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was so cool going, obviously, to see like Poppy and Claudia's hometown, and like they were like giving us a little tour around, and they were like, this is our old club, and it was so fun to see. And I think it was just before varsity, so it was quite good for the girls who did get to go, like just have a really team bonding kind of week together, like before like a big event. Help with our fitness for sure in that heat. But yeah, I think it was so cool. And also like Poppy said, like the rugby culture in Hong Kong is so big, so it was just like such a crazy place, like to see everyone playing rugby. And like we got the opportunity to go and watch the Sevens in like the new stadium, which was insane and like so much fun. Yeah.
So it's a very new experience, isn't it? Because it's not, obviously you play rugby union, so it's not something it's not one of the sports you probably naturally think about in terms of rugby union. You're thinking New Zealand, your England, your all the South Africa, all these teams. So it's very interesting that sort of way around. How was the whole, I guess the experience of you training out there? I guess going into a wee bit more depth in that, and do you think that sort of was a cardio? Was that your focus as well as going out there?
Yeah, I mean it was so hot. Like I'm not used to that heat. So you just like walk and you start like dripping with sweat. So it was like insane to have to play in that kind of thing, and you have to really dig deep, obviously. And I think tens is like it's a funny game because it's obviously missing those people, but you're playing so fast. So it's tricky, and I think it took us a while to adapt to like a different game plan. But I think it was really good, and I think like leading into varsity, obviously we put a lot of points on to Swansea, and I think like our offload game was insane in that game. That probably helped quite a bit, to lead into that game and get lots of points on the board.
Also, like, really the cardio. So I think we're a very fit team all round. Like, most of our girls put 80 minutes full round in a game. So things like that. I think going into the 10s, it was really good. Like, we all back our fitness quite a lot. Like, we start training now with a lot of running. Our coaches decided that's quite a big priority of ours. So I don't know, we are just a very fit team. Again, like, our props and our second rows and all of that can run loops around these other, like, girls who are huge like that we play against. And I think also in Hong Kong we were playing teams who were smaller, so we kind of had that like tackle heights and stuff like that. Teams from like the Philippines and Laos who are like tiny. So yeah, it was really good actually. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, and you mentioned Varsity, Gabriela. I think we were all pretty excited when the news broke. It was a couple of days before that. Welsh Varsity in Cardiff would be moved to the Principality Stadium. Resume your first time, I presume, playing in the stadium. Describe the feeling when you find that out.
And we were actually going to sort all the kit out, and we were putting it in the. So normally we go in the Principality Stadium, and then we have to walk into Cardiff Arms Park. So we were like putting all the kit out into the Principality, and then like we were with our old president, and she was like, "Oh, we're actually playing the Principality," and it was just
literally like the day before.
It was the day before that evening. It was Tuesday evening we found out, and obviously that's quite a big change. Like mentally, it's obviously a much bigger stadium, but like I think it just made the girls even more excited. Like to get that opportunity is insane. Like something that you don't get to do often. So to run out like with all our family there as well and all our friends, like it was just like the best day ever. And also to win with that many points, like it's just like insane. Yeah.
It was great after a hard season.
Yeah.
I think to prove like we actually can play rugby, we know what we're doing, and I think it was just good to let the girls show off a bit. We had lots of hat tricks, lots of girls showing what they can do, and it was just such a great day.
Yeah. 18 tries in the end, wasn't it? I think something like that. 114 or 117.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. It was a great game to watch. I remember watching all the tries going in and thinking, I'm gonna have to edit 18 tries here. I did actually quite quickly in the end. To be fair, it wasn't too bad, but very entertaining game.
Record-breaking like half time is
yeah.
like the biggest scoreline or something.
Yeah.
It must be,
the
in
varsity.
terms of varsity,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. Oh, it was a fantastic and great watching you play, especially when you have that big pitch, I suppose, and you're a running team, so that's good.
Yeah,
It really worked into your hands, but yeah, absolutely superb performance there. And yeah, another experience you've had, which is watching training, and I guess this comes back to sort of the wider women's rugby. You were watching Wales and England train before the Women's Six Nations last season. How was that sort of experience for you in terms of, I guess, soaking up what the professionals do in their sort of behind the scenes?
Yeah, I think like it's again trying to like make this environment as professional as possible. Obviously, like we're all getting degrees at the end of the day. That's why we've come to university. But we've also got the opportunity to play really high level rugby. So be able to like watch professionals and how they go about their training and like the intensity they bring to it. I think it just helps, like realise what we need to bring to our training sessions to help us progress in the WBSR, especially like when we're struggling against some of these teams who are more professional than us, because that is the way they're set up. So like being able to watch them really helps us just like get in the right mindset and like know what we need to do to keep on improving and keep on progressing. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think watching, like Gabby said, like a mindset's kind of a big thing we go into game days thinking about. We're a very emotional team, I think. We play for each other, and if we have like a big game coming up, you can feel it when people are very nervous, and kind of sometimes we try not to take that onto the pitch, and watching the professionals kind of box it right before a game and go onto the pitch and kind of show why we deserve to be here and kind of show what they can do is kind of our new perspective and stuff that we're taking in this season. Like at Clash, we went in like all guns blazing. Like we were trying to change it from like being nervous to being like, oh my god, this is so exciting. Like how lucky we get to play here and stuff like that. And our first like 20 minutes was like so good, and we kind of just want to build on that this season.
Yeah, so it's just about finding that right emotional energy to give you that edge in the game. Yeah, that's great. And we move into the sort of next topic, which I suppose is the team. So we have three teams. We have the first who play in the WBSR, as we had said, the twos that play in the Bucs Western Tier, one after promotion last season, of course, and then your third team who are also in the Bucs a wee bit further down in the league, or in the leagues. Do you want to sort of tell us a wee bit more about, I guess, the past couple of seasons and your experience in competing in Bucs, which is obviously such a high level competition?
Yeah. So I think just before we came to uni, they just got promoted into WBSR, and like they'd worked so hard, to get promoted into this league. I mean, and I think it was quite a step up in the first season. Obviously, that was our first season, so we didn't know any different. But I think it was quite a step up in just like the terms of like the teams you're playing against are just insane. Like the girls are, some of them are professional, some of them we played against, are in the World Cup, that kind of level. So it is hard, and I think we are still, progressing as a team, and we are still getting that. And as time progresses, like we'll hopefully have more players coming in who are coming to uni for the rugby, because a lot of universities, obviously, the girls go there to play rugby and they do the degree alongside, whereas we're kind of the other way around, where people come here to get a good degree and playing rugby is a bonus. So I think, as time progresses, we can get more girls in who are playing, like here to play rugby at a high level. But the twos, they were unbeaten last season. They were, they were putting hundreds of points on these teams. So I think it's going to be really exciting this year to, like, them to actually have some competition and actually, like, because the only way you can progress is, by being put against these better teams. So they had a game against Exeter, didn't they? It was quite a hard game, but I think they're going to like take so much out of, playing against these teams, and we're going to really watch them progress. Yeah.
And then our threes, they're basically our development team. Last year we had the devs. We have a devs most years. It's basically just a bit of fun on a Tuesday, like mostly for newbies who've never played rugby before. They kind of learn the basics. But there was a lot, like the girls really wanted to play some rugby, so we've put in a threes this year. They train with the twos, so they'll be learning loads whilst doing that. And yeah, they have their first game next week, so it'd be lovely to see how they get on.
Yeah.
That's great in a sense of seeing how the club develops, because obviously you haven't had that before where they're in the Bucs, so to get in, I guess that's a replication of how a couple of years ago that was your first season, that was Cardiff's first season, and how that's developed along all the leagues. So that's great to see. But a couple of things, 7th in your first season, in the WNL. Some great battles there, and then 6th last season and beating sides like Durham actually quite comfortably as well, finishing 6th and improving on that league position. How do you feel that you have developed across the seasons in your time here at Cardiff University, and what do you think has been the key development point for you?
I think loads, from first year we've grown so much as a team. I think even just kind of having a game plan and think, in our first season we were very just let's go out and play some rugby, where now it's a lot more structured and we kind of know what our jobs are and things like that. I think the scorelines really don't reflect how we play. We put in a shift, and I think that's something that we pat ourselves on the back for. And also we've kind of started doing what do we want to go into the game, and what are our personal goals as a team, instead of we're going to go and win this. Because sometimes when you're playing teams like Hartbury, where 2 or 3 of the girls have just played the World Cup, it is quite hard mentally to go into games like that. But what do we want to do? What line-outs do we want to win? How many? Stuff like that. And that's really helped us, I think, build and kind of our personal growth within our team a lot.
And I think, just getting more and more professional as the years have gone on, from even just now we've got analysis where we can, watch our own games back, see where we need to improve, get stats now. Then we can also analyse other teams to, see what their game plan is. It's just that kind of thing. And, now we have just the numbers of girls coming or, being part of the team have improved so much that we've got a performance squad now, so it means that 30 girls are chosen to train on Friday night to then be selected, and just having the opportunity to have more depth in the team, and that's just going to improve as the seasons go on.
Yeah, you've answered a couple of my other questions there. I can't lie there. In terms of, I know I've spoke to your coaches, Nick Evans and Owen Smith, and there's always been the effort's always there. The effort is you always put in such intensity with the way you play, and it's just been, I guess, the final ball maybe in that 22, not quite getting it right. In terms of a technical standpoint, because obviously you are developing as a club season on season, but from a technical standpoint, where do you think you can maybe, I guess, find sort of a way through in terms of converting more tries, getting closer to these teams, and really developing on the scoreboard as well?
Yeah, I think it's I think it all comes with experience as well. I think it's just being able to see how does our opposition play and work into our strengths. So if, for example, against Edinburgh, we realised that our strongest point in this game was going to be using our forwards, so all 3 of our tries were just from picking and going in that 22. And I think it's just as we experience playing at this high level, we're going to be able to start switching on and reacting to what other teams are doing, and just improving in that sense.
I think every game, we are learning and taking that into the next one. I know from Clash this year we had some problems scoring tries. So the next game, we were how do we build on that? And we practiced it in training and implemented it, and we scored exactly what we were training against Loughborough. And it was such a team try, and it meant the world to us. So yeah.
Yes, and it's really great that you can sort of identify those sort of. I find it really interesting, the statistics.
Yeah.
How many line-outs are we winning? How many scrums are we, are we pushing forward on? Those sort of micro things, and how many line breaks, this sort of thing, and that you can take that forward and develop. But yeah, in terms of this season in the WBSR, we've got obviously Edinburgh yesterday. You have travelled back. Thank you so much for being here after the late night. You've got Exeter next week, another tough test that they don't get any easier in the WBSR. I guess, what's your sort of ambitions for the rest of the season?
I think just improving from our previous games, just taking what can we do, or taking the positives out of that game and building on them, and to take them into the next game. And like Poppy said, just having little goals rather than thinking of it as a whole. Like, it just helps us as a team to just break it down and say, right, so we're going to still 2 line-ups today, we're going to score from, you know, reds and blacks picking and going, and just having little goals as a team really helps us, like, for motivation, 1, and also 2, to come out of the game in a positive mindset, ready for the next week, even if it is a tough loss.
I think we also play a lot for each other. Like, in the games, like, we like push each other to the limit, and we really just want everyone to do so well, and I think each week we're building on that as a team that kind of gets closer. So, yeah.